This is a brand new LEGO architecture set, and it is an improved version of a set we first saw 10 years ago. A set inspired by one of the most iconic landmarks in the world, originally carved from travertine stone and famously featured in classic films like Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita. I'm excited to present you the LEGO Trevi Fountain. Let's start with the minifigures. And yes, I know that might sound surprising for LEGO architecture set, but it's true. This is actually the first ever LEGO architecture set to include minifigures. In total, there are 3 full-body minifigures and 2 half minifigures alongside with 2 tritons, all designed in plain white with no facial features, giving them a timeless, statue-like appearance. Starting with 2 half minifigures and 2 tritons. These half minifigures represent hippocamps, which are mythical creatures, half human and half fish. One of them is male and one of them is female. Then we have 2 identical female minifigures, each representing a Roman goddess. One represents Abundantia, the goddess of abundance, while the other represents Salubriti, also known as Salus, the goddess of health. Finally, we have Oceanus, sometimes referred to as Neptune, the god of the seas. He is depicted as an older, bearded minifigure, adding a regal presence to the scene. Now let's move on from the minifigures and take a closer look at the set itself. At the base, there is a printed plaque with the name of the set, Trevi Fountain. On both sides, you will also find lampposts and bollards, adding a bit of urban charm to the scene. Now, let's talk about the fountain itself. The real Trevi Fountain was designed by Nicola Salvi and took an astonishing 30 years to complete. The fountain architecture is done in the Baroque style, so you will notice plenty of decorative elements typical of Baroque design, like intricate carvings and rich detailing. One important detail to mention is that the left and right side of the buildings are identical, and the symmetry is fully reflected in the building process. You will essentially build a mirror version of one side from the other. The techniques used are the same on both sides. The only real break in the symmetry comes from the rock formation at the base, which introduce some organic shapes that contrast beautifully with the structured, ornate facade above. Personally, I think this combination of natural and architectural elements come out really well. It adds a lot of visual interest to the final build. Let's take a closer look at the water element of the fountain. One thing you will notice is how the color beneath the transparent blue pieces were carefully chosen to match the real-life appearance of the Trevi Fountain. At the upper section, the water flows thinly over the rocks, allowing the stone color to show through, just like the real fountain. Lower down, in the main pool, the water takes on a deeper shade of blue, giving a sense of depth. Now, there is something you might expect to see: coins in the fountain, which is a classic Trevi Fountain tradition. At first glance, there are no visible coins in the finished model. However, during the building process, you will actually encounter a couple of hidden coins built directly into the fountain itself. In fact, there are 2 official coins included as part of the design. This ties beautifully into the local legend. Toss 1 coin into the fountain, and you will ensure a return to Rome. Toss 2 coins, and you will fall in love with someone you meet there. Toss 3 coins, and you might just end up together forever. Interestingly, LEGO also provides a 3rd spare coin, so you can decide for yourself how many coins you want to toss into the fountain. Now, back to the LEGO model itself. If you look behind the rock formations, you will spot several windows stuck into the facade. In real life, these windows lead to the water channels that feed the fountain's cascading waterfalls, a subtle but historically accurate detail. On the right-hand side, you will also find a small secondary fountain. This is the Fontanella degli Innamorati, also known as the Lover's Fountain. Now, let's talk about the facade, which is cleverly divided into 9 vertical sections, creating a clear, central focal point. If you ever built anything with LEGO, you will know that working with odd numbers can be tricky. Centering things in LEGO is rarely easy. However, LEGO handled it surprisingly well here, using jumper plates to perfectly center the main archway. Right in the middle, you will find Neptune riding his shell-shaped chariot. He is flanked by 2 female minifigures I showed you previously, standing guard. Now, if you are familiar with Trevi Fountain, whether you live in Rome or have visited, you might notice one small discrepancy. In the real fountain, the furthest right window isn't actually a window at all. It's just a painted wall designed to look like a window to maintain the symmetry. However, in this LEGO version, they opted to build it as an actual window, which is an understandable creative choice, but one worth noting. Another small choice that stood out to me is the use of leaf elements to represent the capital of the tops of the Corinthian columns. Personally, I don't think this works particularly well. It's a clever attempt, but it doesn't quite capture the look of classic Corinthian detailing. About the female minifigure, on both sides you will notice a minifigure trophy and a frog. These aren't just random details, they actually have symbolic meaning. On the right side, you see the Virgin, a tribute to the young girl, and on the left side you see Agrippa, the Roman general and architect. Just above these figures, you can see several ton-plated holders. These are intended to represent the cornices, and the change in color helps capture the weathered appearance of the real fountain stone. Moving further up, you will spot 4 minifigure trophies. These statues represent the 4 seasons. Behind these statues, ornamental balustrades are built using clips and bars, and I have to say, this technique works surprisingly well at this scale. Finally, at the very top of the facade, you will find the coat of arms of Pope Clement XII, who commissioned the construction of the Trevi Fountain. Now, you may have noticed I have intentionally avoided mentioning the back of the building, and there is a good reason for that. There is no back. When you turn the set around, all you will see is a plain white wall. One thing I do appreciate, though, is that the back wall is constructed using large panel elements, which means that if you would like to incorporate this set into your LEGO City layout, perhaps as a part of a larger building, it should be fairly easy to do so. That's exactly what I plan to do with mine. So far I have mainly focused on the positive of this set, but there are a few things that bothers me a bit. First off, let's talk about the scale. It doesn't really fit into minifigure scale or micro scale, it's somewhere awkwardly in between. You can notice that when you look at the lampposts, which are about the same height as a standard minifigure. That said, if you remove the lamppost, the minifigures actually don't look too out of place standing next to the fountain itself. I'm interested to know, what do you think? Does it work for you? Another detail that caught my eye when comparing the set to the real-life fountain is the lack of carved inscriptions. On the actual Trevi Fountain, there are several Latin inscriptions carved into the facade, but LEGO opted to leave this out entirely. Instead, we just get plain white tiles, which feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. Personally, I would have loved to see stickers, if not printed elements, to capture those important details. That being said, if you are thinking about adding this set to your collection, it is priced at $160 or 160 euros or 140 pounds, and it contains 1,880 pieces. And just a quick note, this video is not sponsored by LEGO, so if you're planning to pick up this set or any other LEGO sets or products on Amazon, please consider using my affiliate links. It's a great way to support the channel, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. This set also comes with a single instruction manual, which is filled with interesting facts about the fountain, many of which I have already shared with you throughout this video. As for the building process, I have to say I really enjoyed putting this set together. There were some clever techniques used, though I did notice that a few sections came together very quickly. My personal favorite part was probably building the windows, because the technique used there was something I don't think I ever seen before. Definitely a fun surprise. Overall, it took me around 3 hours to complete, which felt just right for a set of this size. When I compare it to another LEGO architecture sets currently available, I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite. For me, Notre Dame still holds that spot, but I'm really happy to have this Trevi Fountain in my collection. All in all, I think this is a fantastic set, and I'm excited to eventually incorporate it into my LEGO city, even though that might take a bit of time. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave a comment below to share your thoughts on this set. I always love hearing from you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, happy building!